KSI and his overinflated ego just hit a brand new low after the boxing event that took place yesterday at the time of me recording. Now, obviously, there was a lot that's gone on the build-up to the Gib versus Slim fight. KSI's been running his mouth about how he wants Gib to lose and how he's backing Slim. And then he's kind of like, you know, talking about like how obviously he's the CEO of Misfits Boxing, right? So he holds the trump cards, right? And I completely get that. But this guy thinks he's like, his shit don't stink. And it's really starting to get to me. Like, I'm a fan of KSI, right? But I'm not a fan of this enormous ego that he's like accumulated over the past few years. And it just feels like someone needs to really humble this guy. When I thought Tommy Fury had humbled this guy, turns out this guy wasn't humble at all. He just decided that if you see Tommy Fury in public, just laugh at him and, you know, have a massive go at him. Like, it's not great. But obviously, before the fight, there was a lot said regarding the fight. You know, KSI was backing Slim to win. He hates Gib for whatever reason. I'm not sure what that's all about. Maybe they're building up some tension for a future fight because maybe Gib's in his sights. But this is what happened prior to the fight taking place. So this was a couple of days ago.
Okay, earlier on I spoke to Mam Taylor and KSI and I posed the question to him that if yourself versus Jake Paul was never made, would it be a failure for them? Would it be a failure for Misfits? Kala said, yeah, it would. And Mam said, if it didn't happen, it'd only be down to Nikita. Is that right?
It's all down to Nikita. Yeah. Let me tell you the situation, all right? This is, sum it all up for you guys. Me versus Jake is this huge fight that Nikita sees, and he's terrified of it because if I fight Jake and beat him, everything, his whole empire, MVP, collapses. Like, there is no MVP. That's why, for him, Nikita's sake, he's there like, let me just squeeze all the money I can get from Jake before we eventually maybe go for the KSI Jake Paul fight. That's just it. It's just business, straight business with Nikita. And he'd much rather have an easier fight. He'd much rather fight someone like Mike Tyson. Bro, I've talked to a few people who thought Mike Tyson actually had a chance. People bet 200 pounds, 300 pounds here. Oh, Mike Tyson, it's Mike Tyson. Like, there's people who are actually stupid enough to bet on an OAP Mike Tyson. So it is what it is. Jake Paul would much rather fight easy opponents and get the bag than fight someone like me who would be very challenging.
I'm not going to lie, I think the hype for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, Jake Paul versus KSI has gone. I think that hype has been gone. Like, if it was 2022, huge fight, enormous fight. Now, I don't think people will care as much for it, if I'm perfectly honest. But KSI then went on to talk about his relationship with Gib, because obviously him and Gib were always pretty close. Whenever I remember seeing clips going viral of KSI versus Logan Paul recently, where Gib was on the commentary box and he was like gassing up KSI. These guys seem to be pretty close friends from what everyone could assume. But then somewhere down the line, that relationship went sour.
Out of curiosity, yesterday obviously you went in on Gib. When I interviewed him afterwards, he almost seemed a little bit shocked. Now when I spoke to Mams, he said, look, he's been prodding. This has been overdue for some time. Yeah. There's a clip of him celebrating your second win against Logan Paul that's circulating online. Yeah. Give me a timeline on your eyes of events. Have you just had enough of him?
We just didn't chill. We weren't friends, though.
Okay.
Like, I mean, look, we supported each other. We respected each other. And, like, all fighters respect each other. But we weren't friends. It's as simple as that. Like, I wouldn't message him like, yo, want to hang out? He wouldn't do the same to me. We wouldn't chill. We wouldn't hang out. Like, I have friends where I'm like, oh, yeah, I want to hang out. Yeah, outside, man. I'd hang out with them. Like, there's people outside, I'd hang out. Gib, nah. I just wouldn't. Like with me and Gib, like, I don't know. Gib has just this chip on his shoulder. Like he's, you know, competing with me or something like that. And I want to get the record straight, bro. Gib is not on my level. Gib is nowhere near my level. I told people yesterday, we sparred and I destroyed him. I absolutely destroyed him. So people need to understand that me and Gib are on the same level. We're not friends. This is, for me, business and business only. And I'm CEO of the company. Slim is a company man. Gib is a virus. I want Slim to get rid of this virus.
And that clip aged like milk in a glass on hot day, right? So, I can't help but feel that this is just KSI trying to build up some tension between him and Gibb, because somewhere down the line, maybe next year, maybe the year after, there might be a fight between KSI and Gibb. And obviously, if there's already friction and there's already tension built up, it builds up the tension and the suspense for the fight and stuff like this. So I've got a feeling that might be the tact here. But there's other clips as well of, KSI talking on Gibb prior to the fight.
There's been a lot of speculation in the media, and a lot of people talking on Twitter and Instagram, that you kind of fallen out in love with boxing, and that you kind of had enough of it. This I've always disagreed with them. I know they're wrong, JJ. But
sure.
Can we just set that straight?
That is, I'm going to put that to rest. I have not lost the passion. If anything, I'm more hungry than ever. Like, I've made it a lifestyle now. That's just it. Like, I think before I would just go, okay, let me fight here. All right, let me train in camp. And it's like, cool, let me train, And I train a bit before camp, but it wasn't a lifestyle. Yeah. Now it's like, okay, every day I'm training. Every single day I'm training.
No, I agree with you. I just want to.
I'll be intrigued to see how JJ shapes up for the next fight. Obviously, his last fight against Tommy Fury, he did lose. But it looks like that could be a rematch on the cards. Obviously, we'll get to that in just a moment. And obviously, the speculation regarding the controversy and the relationship going sour did reach Gibb, and Gibb spoke out about the situation prior to the fight.
Looking sharp, Thursday night main event. Talk to me about this. Listen, I'm feeling deadly. 10-ounce gloves on my hands. This is exactly what I like to love. Public workout. He knows it's detonation. We're taking him out. You've got KSI ringside right there. What's the message? What about him? Any message to KSI ringside? No, I don't give a shit about him. I'm fighting Slim. Fair enough. Slim. Final words to Slim. He's getting ginned. Ladies and gentlemen, the seven-figure giver, Nissan Gibb!
I'm not going to lie, I actually think Gibb might be one of the best influencer boxers in the game. I know that might be a hot take, but I just stand by that. I do think that he is arguably one of the biggest fighters and one of the best. He always has been one of the best in the game. Anyway, moving on, we get to fight night. Obviously, Nissan Gibb absolutely destroys Slim. He ends up winning. But in the build-up to the fight, there was a lot of stuff that went on. One of the big highlights from the Misfits fight was that KSI has brought back Wade Plem to Misfits, which obviously is a huge move. But there was just some weird stuff on the build-up. It just felt like a bit of a WWE situation. It's so weird. It just comes across as so WWE, these scripted scenes where they're in the ring together and they're facing off and it's causing tensions. I'm just waiting for The Undertaker to come out and just throw a chair at somebody at this point. It was just really weird, but there was a lot of tension between HS and Wade as they were talking, going back and forth. Wade's I want to get into fighting, and then HS is squaring up to him thinking he can't do it. But then HS ends up slapping Wade during the event. And obviously, if you can't see this for what it is, then, you're either just ignoring it or whatever. But this is all just, not scripted per se, but this is all, pretty planned. It comes across that way at least. They're all trying to build up fights so that they can get on the undercards of fights and get big paydays. The more tension there is, the bigger the fight, and it just... I don't know, the whole situation is just a little bit weird, if I'm honest. I don't know if I necessarily, I'm down for this. This isn't, this is influencer boxing, right? This isn't boxing, this is influencer boxing. It's all the drama, it's all the build-up, it's all the money, it's more of a show and a spectacle than it is the fight, if that makes sense. And obviously, that I guess that does run in boxing as well, but it's not as corny as this. This comes across as a bit what is this? Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, obviously KSI and DanTDM have been beefing recently. KSI just couldn't not take the opportunity to call out DanTDM. Everyone's going across the internet saying, KSI called out DanTDM to a boxing fight. He didn't. This isn't him calling him out to a boxing fight. This is just him calling him out on a public platform, on a public stage. Yeah. Bear in mind the crowd that is in this place. The silence there, I know that was a bit of a cheer, but the silence was kind of deafening. Like, that fell on its ass. So inflated, and this is the part of KSI that I strongly dislike now. I used to love KSI, right? He was the guy. But now, you don't have KSI's like here. KSI's head is here. And I'm not just talking about his forehead. I'm talking about his ego, right? Like, he's just not that guy anymore. Like, what in the WWE is this shit right now? Like, it's just, you know? Like, I don't even know, man. But the fights were rather entertaining, I can't lie. Like, that Deji knockout was a really weird one, I'm not going to lie. I'm sure you've probably seen it circulating on the internet. But, you know, Deji versus Savage, we're in the third round, right? Deji goes for one hell of a combo. And then they're clutching. And then all of a sudden, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Like, he seemed absolutely fine. And then suddenly he hits the deck. And obviously now this is speculating people to be like, oh, it's because it was scripted and all this kind of stuff. I mean, obviously that's completely down to you. But of course, the big fight, Slim versus Gib. And they went the distance, and it went down to the decision of the judges. And this was the decision that they came to.
The scorecard of the judges, Lee Roadhall scores the contest 76. We have it even. George Lee scores it 78-74. And Gus Sandov scores it 79-73. All to the winner by majority decision. The 7-figure giver.
Now, like, I would have put a bet on to say that Gib was going to win that fight because I think he just is the better fighter. But what made this even sweeter is the fact that KSI has been running his mouth so hard regarding Gib and Slim and stuff like this and how hard he wanted Gib to lose. And just watching this reaction from KSI when the announcement was made just makes the whole victory just that much sweeter.
The 7-figure giver.
And I think part of that is because he knows that the amount of shit that he's about to get from Gib is going to be insurmountable. And we'll get onto that in just a moment. But before they kind of went into the press conferences afterwards and did all the talking and stuff, KSI made an announcement that obviously he's been bigging up this whole announcement that he was going to be, you know, making a huge announcement on his next big fight and all the rest of it. And if I'm honest, it was a bit underwhelming. He's promised this to be one of the biggest fights of his career and stuff like this. And I suppose it is because he's got a bit of a grudge. He's the only person that he's lost to, technically. But KSI announced that he will be fighting the winner of Tommy Fury versus Darren Till. Obviously, these two are going to be fighting very, very soon. And then the winner of this fight will get to face KSI next year. And this was how the announcement went.
I want to fight. You want to fight, huh?
Obviously, we've seen all this. That's not the clip that I was hoping for. Okay. Clip that bit out. But then we got to the post-press conferences. Obviously, Gib walks in. He starts making KSI's life a bit of a misery. Straight from the get-go. Straight from the get-go, this guy is like, yeah, I'm going to give it some.
Where do I put this then? Yeah! Right there. Do I get a microphone? Thank you.
What's the question?
Obviously, all the lead up was JJ, you know, kind of hating on you, saying that Slim was going to knock you out. What's your message to him?
Well, they said that this was called.
You're too close to the mic, bro.
They said that this was called Misfits, but it was a mismatch. Yeah. I smoked them. I done smoked them. Yeah. So there we go. We took that belt. This will be a nice door stopper, and we're gonna enjoy it.
JJ, what's your reaction to that? Fair play, brother. Fair play.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be the best.
Well, I mean, you saw what Soul Pappy did.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I swear to God. Not a single shit. Not one shit. I'll be the best guy here, and I'm moving up.
Give the greatest influencer boxer.
Come on. GIB. Greatest influencer boxer. That's it.
It's gonna be a long night.
How long do I have to be here for?
Obviously, it was inevitable. He was always going to get grief. But, you know, obviously he said there that he spoke about Salt Pappy, and now Salt Pappy seems to be KSI's, like, you know, scapegoat. It's like, oh, yeah, but you couldn't do it against Salt Pappy. Obviously, he was saying, oh, you can't do it against Slim. He did it against Slim. Oh, you can't do it against Salt Pappy, though. Obviously, Salt Pappy did look fantastic on the night, but this was KSI talking about that.
The best.
What do you want me to say? What, number
right
one?
It's number one. The best. I'm right here.
He's number one.
I have a belly. He does not. Number one.
JJ is crying on the inside. Look at that. He's just smiling through the pain right now.
So Pappy, Anthony Taylor.
Ha. Weren't you meant to fight Anthony Taylor? Why have you not rescheduled?
I want big fights.
Oh, fantastic.
I've got a fight lined up.
That's interesting.
Next year.
Interesting. I want big fights too. Do you know what I mean? We all want big fights, right?
Tonight was a big fight. Tonight was a very big fight.
Yeah,
and you did well. You did well. You did well.
If you both want big fights, you guys can fight each other. Is that a possibility?
I think if he gets through Salt Pappy or Anthony Taylor, then we
the
can
fights
talk.
that you don't want to take.
Then we can talk.
All right, you take one, I'll take the other. Then the winner meets up.
I've got an opponent already lined up.
Who is it?
I'm not going to say. But it's big. Very big.
Interesting.
Obviously, that was before he announced that it was going to be the Tommy Fury or the other lad that he's going to be taking on. And obviously, you know, KSI had no choice but to be humbled in this situation because, you know, he's been giving Gibbs all of the biggin, and then suddenly it got shut down. And Gibb put GIB, greatest influencer boxer. KSI, of course, retweeted. Congratulations. Expected better from Slim, but whatever. Enjoy this victory. For now. Yeah, the whole situation is just... you can see it a mile off. They're clearly, you know, going to build up this tension and all the rest of it. Gibbs going to be end up facing KSI and, you know, all the rest of it. It's like... it's written in the stars. Let me know what you guys think about the whole situation. Let me know about what you think of KSI's response on the night. Who do you think looked the sharpest in the fights? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions on all of that down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.